All right. Well, welcome everybody to our automated trader Zoom with with Ed Barsano is the founder of a really great tool that I discovered probably, well, in April of 2024. And I'm going to start this call by just a little introduction to myself for those of you that don't know me. And I'm going to introduce Ed because I want you to know, like, about him, and the person we actually have on the call here with us is it's really an honor, Ed, that you take the time with us. And I know we could talk a lot just about Ed's background and all the amazing stories he has, but I'm going to give a quick introduction to Ed, and then we'll jump right in because everybody always says they want to get to the meat of everything, and we'll look at the auto trader. We'll talk about it, and does require a little bit of a mindset shift from traditional, buy and hold positions. We think about things in profits, lots of little profits over time, building up, building up, building up. So we'll get into that. For starters here, I'm Francine Lou Miller, and I actually spent about 20 years in the financial markets, trading stocks for global hedge funds and mutual funds, and did that for a while and eventually jumped into crypto about 5 years ago. And I did that because I felt like in the institutional markets, the little guy just gets run over. That Ed likes to call him the regular guy. I always refer to us as like the little guy, right? Compared to all the whales out there. And I just saw the blockchain as a way to level the playing field. And I just became really passionate about helping people learn about it and have the opportunity to earn better returns, right? As this financial market is shifting with fintech and everything. So I dove down that path. I was trying a lot of different bots and bot technologies because I know there's a lot of money to be made in trading. I just didn't want to stare at charts all the time. And I'm a market technician, but it's just a lot. And there's emotions and rules. And like we were talking a little bit about that before we started the call or the recording. But anyway, so bots, the standard, what we call a bot, just I found that it would run out of money, or I think it's trading and it's actually not. There's an error message and you just have to tweak it and micromanage it. They do take about 30 to 50% of your profits typically. Ed doesn't do that. It's a strict subscription fee, which we'll talk about towards the end. So when my friend Attila introduced me to Ed last year, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been looking for. And then when I realized that the AI, which we'll talk about too, all the technical indicators are programmed into the AI. Like the auto trader can run on itself. It's perfectly fine. We buy and sell up certain percent, down certain percent. But before it does that, it calls up the AI and it's like, hey, AI, you've got 25 years of history on those 27 technical indicators. What do you think is going to happen in the next few minutes or 20 minutes? Are we going to move lower? Should I hold off on this buy? I want to buy. It's like, if it returns back and says, yeah, we think it's going lower, it'll wait until the AI returns with a probability that it doesn't think it's going to go any lower. And same way on the exit. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And so I was kind of like, oh my gosh, and got going with the auto trader and just there's never, like we were talking about just a minute ago, Ed, it's very smooth running. Ed's very available. He loves to talk to people, although it's getting trickier because we've got thousands of clients now, Ed. I know you too. So anyway, that's about me and my experience. And Ed actually, like you mentioned, I don't want to age you, Ed, but yes, you have been a programmer for like almost over 50 years now.
I know that's crazy, but
Yeah.
it's real.
Going way back to the Navy, that you spent 8 years in the Navy as a programmer. And then after that, you worked in the government for nuclear engineering, which was pretty remarkable stuff. I know you became head developer and you guys cranked out like what, 200 programs during that time with 20-hour work days. I know it was pretty insane. And then you jumped into the fire at Microsoft. You're one of the first 350 employees there as a software engineer, and you spent 8.5 years at Microsoft and eventually ended up as a global manager and hundreds of people operating underneath you. They're giving you piles of stock options. And you were like, why am I working anymore? And you retired at the ripe old age of 39. And what was that,
Yeah, I was over the hill.
1995? Yeah, yeah. And you, like everybody, you were invested in tech stocks at the time. And the dot-com bubble crash hit in 2000 and you ended up losing 60% of your net worth. And instead of just, remorsing about it, you fought back and you were like, you had been 5 years retired at that time. You were bored as heck anyway, right? You're like, I'm going to prove these are just numbers going up and down on the screen. And automate these markets. And that's exactly what you did. So in 2000, Ed was giving away stock auto traders for free. He was learning, he was sitting in at prop houses, learning trading, learning the charts, learning, all about it, pretty much giving people anything they wanted, screens of, technical indicators and parameters for trading and all different strategies. And it was a downloadable software, which was really, you could talk about that a little bit. It got to be bigger and
Okay.
bigger. Yeah. And the company grew. And you ended up selling that company in around 2018, thousands of employees, 40 support people, and they rebuilt everything from the ground up in for crypto. I mean,
I
people have been,
rebuilt the
yeah,
program. After I sold the company,
yeah, you
I
rebuilt,
rewrote the software
rewrote it.
to
Yeah.
be web-based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Web-based, which made it a lot easier and a lot more accessible. And folks have been asking Ed to automate the crypto market. You can still have the stock auto trader. It's also cloud-based. Cryptos are really volatile, so it's generally more profitable to have the crypto auto trader. In fact, when Ed started the crypto auto trader in 2021, he often says he never looked back because he was just like, oh my gosh, the volatility and the profit taking. So that's a little bit of a background of the auto trader, and Ed's going to do a demo. He'll share a screen. We'll look at he has a few auto traders that are live, and we can check those out, look at the settings and all of that. But I always like to first start, Ed, with what you talk to a lot of people almost every day, and what are you hearing right now? What are the questions? What are the concerns with folks, and that with what's going on here in the markets, and why we think that automating these things. Let's just start there, and then we could jump into what it actually
Well,
does.
automation. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. It was a great introduction. I love hearing about myself. Sometimes I go back to these old videos. I mean, I shouldn't say old videos. I mean, there's a lot of webinars out there with where I'm talking, and sometimes I listen to I could just sit there and listen to myself talk for hours.
Yes.
I'm fascinated by myself. I
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, not about myself in the webinars, just talking about the market. And I'm really so spot on so many things. Like, I mean, for the last 4 years, I was saying Alchemy Pay, that's ACH. I'm like, I found them in 2000 or in 21, and and I noticed I'm like, man, that's like Apple Pay worldwide, man, and it's only going for 12 cents a share. Why aren't they going for at least like $2 a share? And then in the last couple months, they partnered with Apple Pay, and so there I was, 4 years ahead, trying to tell everybody, man, they're like Apple Pay worldwide. You don't know how big they are. And it's hard to tell how big any of these companies are based on their price because there's so much price manipulation out there. And
Mhm.
then you got to wonder why. And then that's where, you can call it, I don't know, I don't like to call it conspiracy theories and all that, but some of the stuff is just so obvious. Like they had that crypto summit in the White House last January. It was January or February. And and they said we're going to remove all the regulations holding this market back. Now Trump's sitting on $7 billion worth of crypto. Obviously, he wants the cryptos to take off, right?
Mhm.
And he's got all these like 25 minions, I call them, going out to remove all the regulations to help this crypto market take off. And as soon as they had that summit, the market started going down instead of up. So you got to ask why. And then it didn't go down a little. I mean, it dropped like 50, 60, 70% some of these coins just straight down over the last, year. And
Mhm.
it's like, why? Why are they pushing these coins down to their all-time lows? Like the graph also. The graph has 70,000 companies using it. And they're sitting at 4 cents a share. A year ago they were at $1, or 4 years ago they were at $1. Why are they sitting at 4 cents? Is it because they're pushing all the little guys out? I said the little guys. The average guy who's afraid. They see because when a coin price goes down, that lowers the value of your inventory, your open positions, and which lowers your account value. And what does everybody stare at? The account value. So everyone on this webinar, let me tell you this. Stop looking at your account value. It's a manipulated number. They're pushing that number lower, and that drives people out of the market. That drives you to, that forces you to, like, that scares you, so you start selling your shares at a loss. And it's like, I never sell a coin at a loss. I'm the opposite of Hillary Clinton. When she says, when they go low, we go high, I say baloney. When they go low, I go low. You want to go down there, I'll go down there with you. I'll buy more at that low price. And remember something, a very important factor here is when a coin is down and you feel like you're losing, multiply that loss by 1 trillion, because that's BlackRock. They're sitting on a bundle, boy. And so is Fidelity and Vanguard and Trump and Tom Brady. All these rich people, they're sitting on millions and billions of dollars worth of crypto. If you think you're down, think of how much they're down. And they control the strings. They're the ones that they got all the lawyers, fighting the battles to get rid of all the regulations. Even Bank of America has broken down now. Their investment division, which is Merrill Lynch, now has the authority to sell people crypto ETFs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's happening. The world's going crypto,
It
and
is.
these prices are at record lows. And believe me, being able to buy a coin at a record low, that's where the rich get richer.
Mm-hmm.
And leave the little guy, again, the little guy, the average guy, leave them behind, because they're all looking at their account value saying, oh, it's down. Instead of saying, where can I find more money to get in at these ridiculously, insultingly low prices? Where can I find more money to buy a coin at 4 cents that really should be sitting at $40 a share?
That's
Why,
yeah.
where can I find more? If Microsoft goes down to 50 cents a share, wouldn't you be selling your house to try to buy more Microsoft stock?
Well, and just want to remind you guys too that, I mean, this is just informational, educational. We like to riff a lot, so we're not
Yeah.
financial advisors or brokers. This is just a casual call we're having here.
Yeah.
It does.
We're
Yeah, so
not even smart. We just drink smart water.
So that's why I like this platform, and really is because even as a trader, I mean, I don't do it anymore because it's way too emotional and stressful. And I don't, there's people you have to have I don't have the right mentality for it. It really takes a special kind of person to manually trade, and very few people are really successful at it. So if I can take all the emotion out and just like get an auto trader started to just buy low, buy sell high, boom, 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 and just take advantage no matter where price is. So let's talk about that a little bit with if you want to show like the
Sure.
bucket and the well and how we think about that process, and then we'll look at your auto trader too, because yeah, you still on ACH at 12 cents.
Yeah, right. I do. And I own it at 1 cent. And
Yeah.
I make more money at 1 cent than when I did when it was at 12 cents.
I just think that's amazing. So it really does take
All
the
right, I'll share my screen.
mhm.
What I like to talk about is, first off, a little history that Francine didn't touch on. When I left Microsoft when I was 39, I thought it was all about money, as anybody would. If somebody hands you $22 million, you're going to be thinking, I'm done with work, right?
Mhm.
So, but I didn't realize there went all your friends, all your challenges, everything that you were all about your whole life. You just said, I'm shifting. What am I shifting to? Nothing. It's like you just quit your job and it's like, all right, now what? And people always used to say, well, what do you do? What are you gonna do with retirement? I'm like, I don't know. Anything I want to do, I guess I could do. But what do you do? I don't know. I'm not a camper and I'm not a fisher. So I'm not going fishing. And I tried a little golf, but I'm like, and I thought I was getting good at it, but I'm like, this is becoming an addiction, man. Forget this, because golf could be an addiction. it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But I prefer other kind of challenges. So when the market crashed in 2000, 60% of my wealth vaporized. And I just, nobody wants to be robbed. And I just felt like, you just robbed all of us. That was a bunch of baloney. That was a BS crash, and we all got margin calls and everything. And I didn't have any money management in there or anything, any of the stuff I should have had. But, it was the 90s, right? You were just in all the tech stocks and they were all going up. So you didn't have to know anything. So when I automated the market, people started sharing with me. And it changed really the whole game. Something I didn't think was going to happen. Just I didn't plan on it, but it just happened. And what it was is, if you think about it, if you're sitting at home trying to trade and come up with strategies on your own, how much money do you have to lose? Well, that strategy didn't work. Okay, you just lost a bundle of money. And then you're trying something else. And that didn't work, and you're trying something else. And, but I didn't have that because I had thousands of people feeding me what didn't work. They could tell me what didn't work. I could see what didn't work because they were trying all kinds of stuff. And anytime someone wanted something, they said, "Hey, Ed, I'm going to create this strategy and I need these indicators or these settings." And I would give it to them. And it freaked people out. It's like, oh my God, what company would actually program that for me overnight? And I would give it to them. I had 10 screens. That trader had 10 screens of things you could do. And let me rephrase that, 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. And people were doing it. They were just blowing themselves up all over the place. And I'm like, well, that didn't work. I can see that doesn't work. Get rid of it. Let's just get rid of all that. So when I sold the company off around 2017 or 18, that old company, it was downloadable software too. The software was so big that some people would complain that, Ed, I can't even run my email while this program is running. It's
Mhm.
using the whole computer, all the resources. And, so it was just too big for your computer. So I sold that company off and I rewrote the software. And in 2000, I released the first stock trader that was web-based. That means I have racks of servers in a co-location center that run all the auto traders. So when you sign up, it's just web based. You can go to any browser and see your auto trader, and it's running on my servers. And I don't have any access to your money at all because you open up a Coinbase or a Kraken account. Those are Coinbase crypto exchanges. If you were doing stocks, you would open up a TradeStation brokerage account, and that's where all your money is, and your coins and your stocks. That's all at the exchange. I don't have access to any of it. The auto trader only has the ability to see your account and to send orders to your account. So your orders are actually being filled in Coinbase or in Kraken. They're being filled there in your account. I don't have transferability. I can't transfer your money. I can't do anything. You have full access to your money anytime you want it.
Mhm.
GoBabyTrade doesn't have any access to it. GoBabyTrade can only send orders. The broker, all they see is orders coming at them. Buy this, sell this, buy this, sell this. They don't even know what you're doing. They have no clue what the strategy is. And it's a pretty complex strategy because it's got lots of rules. It's like I was saying before, maybe before we were recording. When you're manually trading, how many rules are you violating that you even know you're violating? Sometimes you'll actually say, I shouldn't do this order, but I'm going to still do it anyways. The auto trader never does that. It never forgets a rule. And what are the rules? A lot of rules are corruption rules, things that are happening in the market that you don't even know is happening. But the auto trader is countering it because it says, "Oh, that's BS. I'm not going to let that happen." And we'll go into that. So let me just show you the concept of the trader. If you understand this, then you realize the market is free money for life. And that's the thing. If you just understand the concept, then you're home free. Don't let don't let um don't let your old biases get to you because a lot of what you think you know is wrong. A lot of the market, everything they're teaching out there is all wrong. They're teaching you to gamble in the market, and you don't need to do that. Picture a bucket in a well. I almost sounded like, Rod Sterling in Twilight Zone. Picture a bucket in a well.
Yeah.
If I was teaching an AI class to 80 developers and I saw a whiteboard, so I obviously had to go to the whiteboard, right? Um, and I drew a picture of a bucket in a well, and I just asked the room, I was just curious what they would think. And I said, if the bucket has to go from the top to the bottom to get the water and go back up and all the way back up and dump it out, and it repeats that for the rest of your life, doesn't matter how big the bucket is, if there's water, how much water, don't worry about that stuff. But let's just say it goes down, it gets the water, goes up, and dumps it out. And it can't go halfway down and then go back up. It'll come up with an empty bucket. It's got to go all the way to the bottom and it's got to go all the way to the top to dump it out. That's reality. That's how wells work. I said, so how much water could a well pump in a lifetime? And people started throwing numbers out, 1 million gallons, 1 billion gallons, 1 trillion gallons. And yeah, as they threw those answers out, I was looking at the rest of the room. Nobody disputed something. I didn't see anybody going, no, no, no way. I didn't see any of that. Everybody was on board with it's going to pump a lot of water, right? So then I said, what if it's the crypto market and it doesn't have to go all the way down and it doesn't have to go all the way up? Just buy it, just wiggle a little. Down, up, pump money. Don't go all the way down. Don't go all the way up. Just do that. Buy, sell, money. Buy, sell, money. Buy, sell, money. Just keep doing that forever. Don't worry about these losers that are, I call them losers, but really it's just inventory that's underwater. Keep each lot separate so you know what you paid for it. I know if it bought it here, I can sell it here. I can sell it above there and make profit. And if it makes a big run, like you see these coins all the time go up 50%, 20%, 150%, 200%. They're flying all over the place. If it jumps up like that, you'll just sell all the inventory off that you had. Anything below that price, you're selling off profitably. So I said, how much money can it pump in a lifetime if it just does that forever, no matter where the price goes? I don't care if it's up here or all the way down here, pumping money. It's going to keep pumping money for the rest of your life. How much money can it pump? And then I looked at the room and nobody was saying anything. It was great. It was great. And then finally one person spoke up and he goes, "There's no way that could be real." What an answer. What a beautiful answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it is real, and there's no reason it wouldn't be real. Yeah, 7-Elevens wouldn't exist if it wasn't real, because all they do is they put product on the shelf and they sell it at a higher price. That's
Yeah.
all. That's commerce. I didn't invent commerce. That's been going on for thousands of years. But for some reason, when somebody gets, I mean, if you were running a business right now, you would obviously know that these water bottles had to be produced at one price and they're selling it to us at a higher price. It is what it is, you know? And it's not like you have to have a winner and a loser. And that's another misinformation I hear out there a lot. If you're winning somebody, there's got to be a loser. That's not true. If I want a loaf of bread, I go to the store and I buy it. I'm happy that I got the bread. They're happy they sold me bread that they bought or produced at a lower price. I
Mhm.
mean, there doesn't have to be losers. If everybody was running a GoBabyTrade auto trader, there wouldn't be any losers. Because when the auto trader goes to buy, it says it's time to buy based on its strategy and what it owns.
Mhm. And I just want to make sure
And
real quick, people understand that you don't sell the losing positions. Those stay in inventory. So when I say we don't sell at a loss, that means we keep what Ed calls the losers. We take enough profits out of the market that would make up for any unrealized P&L that may drop negative while the market's down. And then when we have the upturn, you sell out of those positions. And that may take a long, I mean, the time horizon, we just do what the market, we get what the market gives us. We're not forcing anything. This is
Yeah.
a long-term endeavor. Yeah.
Well, profit wise, you're way up above all this, because I mean, I can look at my trader over here for a
Yeah.
second. I'll just show you.
Mm-hmm.
The important stuff is over here. Open positions. Like, let's talk about ACH. I started buying that at 12 cents all the way back in December of 21. Okay? I'm down 121,000 in my open inventory because I started buying it at 12 cents. I still own those shares. And but I've taken 335,000 in profits just from the wiggles.
Mm-hmm.
And the wiggles never stop. And what's nice is here's the only tool, though, whoever controls these prices, all right? And it's not what you think, what do they call that? Supply and demand. Quit thinking that. It's the wealth, the big institutions own 95% of the cryptos. Believe me, they control everything. And they're doing like the Hunt brothers tried to do. The Hunt brothers tried to corner the silver market. The rich are trying to corner the crypto market. They want to own all the shares. And right now they own 95% of the shares already. Only 5% of the shares are available to the public, and they're trying to buy those also. And the way they do that is they drive these prices down. And that's the only tool they have to work with to try to get the little guy out. Picture this. If I want to buy $30 million worth of alchemy pay, there's got to be $30 million worth of people out there willing to sell alchemy pay. How do you get the little guy to sell his shares? How do you get him to panic and get out? Well, you lower the price, because when you lower the price, the account value goes down. And when the account value goes down, what is that guy's family and his friends saying? Get out, they're making a fool of you, you're gonna lose everything. So he panics and sells everything at a loss. Or they keep it down long enough where he just gets restless and says, "Oh man, I got to get something happening," and then he sells it all off, and then starts a whole nother strategy. I'm like, "Oh brother, I hate when I see people do that."
And they do
So,
that by withdrawing their buy interest generally, right, Ed? They move out of the market, the big guys, they stop supporting prices and
oh, they could do anything. They could do anything. It's so easy for them to manipulate the price. They could just stop buying it,
mhm,
and push it down, and then buy at lower prices, lower the prices,
mhm,
lower what they want to sell it at. Um, so here I'm down 120,000 in my open inventory, but I've already taken $335,000 in profits from the wiggles. They can never get this back. This is a number that just goes up and down as the price of the coin goes up and down.
mhm.
This number never goes down. It just keeps going higher and higher and higher. It's like having a bucket or a jar, a jelly jar, and just throw marbles in it every day and watch that jar fill up. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. I mean, it almost feels criminal what I'm doing here, because I've attached myself to these coins and I've got them trapped so that they can never wiggle. If they even try to go up 5%, I take profit. So they can't wiggle. They can't they they can drive it, they can go lower, but as they're going lower, they're wiggling. And when they're wiggling, I'm buying and selling while it's going down. And like right now, look at GRT, the graph. I mean, these guys get 2 billion hits a day on their APIs. They're sitting at a record low right now. The record low was 3.5 cents a week ago. So, they came up a 0.5%. Um, so they're sitting at, 4 cents right now, which is a joke. I call it an insult to humanity that they could lower that. And and we already know where they're going to go. But but in the meantime, I don't care if they stay down here however long they want. Stay down there and just keep wiggling until I die. I don't care. I'm just going to keep taking profits. You can see the profits down here. Today, all it did was a buy, a simple buy, one little buy on Dogecoin. That's it. Take it easy. The auto trader's not in a rush. If you're not moving the price, you're not moving the price. If you're not moving it enough for the auto trader to say, I want to buy more, then it's just not gonna, it's just gonna wait. The software can outweight the market.
Hmm.
Um, so, Dogecoin is at 14 cents now. So, and if I click on the plus over here, it actually expands that and shows me the position. Right now, my last lot that I purchased is right here, and it's down 1.5%. Well, that's not, it's got to go down like 3% before the auto trader is going to buy more. So it's just sitting and waiting. It's even telling me the price, it says next estimated declining price is 12755. Actually, you're going to buy on the app. No, if I'm buying more, the price, yeah, the price has to go to 12755. The current price right now is 13998. So
Hmm.
it's got to drop to that price before it's going to buy more. And it's just, I mean, it's pretty elementary if you think about the strategy.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
So, and what
it's
are,
it's it's so easy to, it's not like rocket science. It's not like a black box where we're hiding everything from people. I mean, you can see everything it's going to do. Actually, you could even see let me go back to that. If I click the plus, it expands it. It's even telling me I bought it, my entry price was 14206, 14 cents. It's telling me over here my target profit goal is 15 cents. Whoops. Let me go back up there. It says target profit goal right here is 15 cents. So if it's telling me ahead of time that if it goes to 15 cents, it's going to sell this lot profitably. I call each purchase one lot.
hmm.
And if it goes down to 12755, it's going to buy more at that lower price. So it's telling you if it goes down, I'm going to buy more. If it goes up, I'm going to sell it and take profit. And it's telling you ahead of time what the numbers already are. So it's already won the game. I've got the market trapped all the time. They can never raise, and then they can never raise it without me taking profit. They can't, and if they try to go lower, I go down there with them.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go lower? I'll go with you. And now what are you going to do, market? Because I got you trapped at the bottom. You want to go lower? Hey, let's go there.
Well, and
Let's go lower.
in a minute we'll
Come
go
on
over the,
down.
yeah. In a minute we'll go over the trade parameters so you guys can see how that works because there is a set trade window that you can adjust. You do have certain control
Oh
over
yeah, that's over
certain
here,
stuff.
the edit price, the edit
Yeah.
strategy. It's only one page. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Take this amount, right here, profit goal. My
Mm,
profit goal is set to 5%. And it says, when am I going to add more? Right here, add shares on price moves, 3%.
3% down. Yeah.
And I'm covered here. My expected trade window from where I originally bought. How far down am I covered as far as that window goes? As far as that bucket in the well, how far down is the bottom of that well? I'm saying all the way to the bottom. That
Mm.
means for the rest of my life, I don't even care where that coin goes. I don't with it as long as you stay in business, you got to just keep pumping me money
Yeah,
till
that's
I
a
die.
conservative
And
position.
then even if I die, my wife will take over, so it never ends.
Well,
Yeah,
so
it's
Ed,
just free money for life.
this is what we talk about with built-in money management, which was my remorse with other bots. That's why we don't really call this a bot because it's always calculating. It has to calculate to leave funds for that in case of that down 100% move that you have
Right.
programmed in there. So it's putting very small percentages of money to work. If somebody shrinks their trade when it down 40 or 30% and takes a much more aggressive position, then a lot more money is going to be put to work at once. But if we drop below that window, then you've used it all up and now you're just a buy and holder. So a lot of people will ask, why isn't my auto trader like putting more money to work? Well, it's because this is a conservatives, you can
Yeah,
set
you
and
can see it
yeah,
here. It's only the funds used on that lot was $5,400. out of 700,000, a $700,000 account. So how come people would say, I want all my money in play? When I hear that, I mean, I get calls and emails all the time and text messages. People say, I always hear it on an up day. Like today, Alchemy Pay is up 8.5%, which is cool. I mean, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's just free money. It's just such a joke. I mean, a week ago, that coin was under 1 cent, and I was just laughing the whole time because it's just they're so fake. There's nothing they can do to hurt us. Um, you can see the orders down here. You can see there's a buy when it's blank. I don't have to look over on the left to see open and close, open and close. You can see that on the left. But on the right, I can just see that the buys don't have fill profit loss and the closes have profits. And you can just see it's just constant. It's just a constant filling of the shelves and selling it off, just like a 7-Eleven. And it never ends. It never ends, and it's controlled by the market. What do you want to do, market? We're gonna have an update today? Thanks. Give me a bunch of free money. We're gonna have a down day? Thanks. I'll stock my shelves today. It doesn't even matter, what the market's doing. It's the market is always doing here. If I go to I guess I didn't create a screen for it, but let's go to Coin Market Cap, just for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just
let's take a look at ACH. Since we're talking about ACH, let's talk about ACH. Let's go
yeah.
to ACH.
While you're pulling that up, I just want everybody to know that these are Ed's original four cryptos that he picked 4 years ago and 4+ years ago. And these are now we have a top trader or a most active trade, like the top trades report, which you can look at and determine if you want to pick different cryptos that have a lot of volatility. There's some default tokens that you can select, which Ed like checks out
Oh
what
yeah,
people are trading, and but you
we're
may
gonna
not,
show that.
yeah, we will get to that.
We're gonna show how we pick most volatile coins. But when a coin is dropping down to record lows like this, I get calls from people, Ed, should I stop my auto trader from buying more? I already have so many shares and should I, and this coin is dropping even more. And I'm like, no, the biggest money you're gonna make is what you bought at the bottom. That's where the rich get richer. Because when that thing, and look at how it spikes up. This is the difference between the crypto market and the stock market. The stock market moves like waves, the prices. They go up and down like that. The crypto market jumps around. It jumps up and it jumps down, and that's gold to an auto trader. Because while you're sleeping, man, that coin pops up like that, and then the auto trader says, sell everything that it owns below that price. And then, or it'll drop down, it'll spike down, and the auto trader will say, buy, buy at this crazy, ridiculous price. And then 5 minutes later, it goes right back up. I mean, it's just such an insult to humanity. It's the simplest game in the world. And my challenge, this is therapy for me, folks. You got to understand that. I'm on here. You're the therapist. I'm laying around. I'm laying here on my couch, getting things off my chest because I don't see how everybody doesn't see it. But for 25 years, I've never had a competitor. There's never been in the stock market. There's never been another bot. I was it. When TD Ameritrade called me in 2006 and said, will you connect your robotic trader to us so our clients can use it? I'm like, wow, cool. I mean, I didn't call them. They called me, and I'm wondering, and my first question was, how do you even know me? Because I don't advertise. I'm just word of mouth. And his answer was just the coolest answer. He goes, you're real.
Yeah.
Isn't that a beautiful answer? Don't you just want that on your headstone when you die? You don't need to say, "Oh, he was loved by everybody." I don't want to hear that. He was real. I like that.
Yeah.
And then my answer to him back was, "You're right. I am real, because I'm not playing here. I'm here to corner the market, and I've done it, and I've been doing it for 25 years." Which is crazy. I hate saying that because that sounds so long. Because to me, it doesn't feel like 25 years.
Yeah.
But you can see when the market's moving around, it's just wiggling. It's constantly wiggling. And the people would, and if you go by things you're taught out there, it's all wrong. Number one, you're taught by teachers in these trading classes that don't even really trade the market. So that's one big problem. The other thing is they're teaching you all the wrong stuff. They're saying like if a coin drops, X, 3% or something, sell it at a loss, cut your losses. I don't even know what that is. When I first released my first auto trader in 2001, I had an indicator in there that I created called lock-in loss. And somebody called me and said, "What is this lock-in loss?" And I said, "Well, that's if you've been buying and then the price is down here lower and you want to lock in that whole loss of everything you bought. You want to sell it at a loss." He said, "Isn't that a stop loss?" I said, "What's a stop loss?" I automated the market. I couldn't tell you what a stop loss was because a stop loss is so illogical. It would have never crossed my mind
Mhm.
to create an indicator called stop loss because you're not stopping a loss because when it's down already, you've already locked. If you sell it now, you're locking in the loss. You're not stopping anything. It's crazy. I mean, you're stopping it. You're hoping it doesn't go lower. What's the difference? Let it go wherever it wants to go. It's called money management and risk management. The software has all that built into it already. Look at these prices, the way they jump around. Jump. Look at this price right here, how it jumped down there, straight down, and then jumped right back up. Or these here, where they go down like that and then go straight up. And look at these straight lines up. And that's, if you're, when the price goes there, you got to understand, even when by the time it went right, even right here, everything you had below that price is already sold off. You would have sold it off right here. And, so you're just constantly just taking money. That's all the market is. It's like 7-Eleven. You put product on the shelf and you sell it at a higher price, but you do it intelligently. This right here, let me show you some of the fakery that goes on in the market that you probably not thinking doesn't happen. Like you see that order, the best, look at that 7.9 shares at the bottom right here, or that 300 shares. These are fake orders, all right? When you see the best bid, which is down here, let me get that picture out of my way. The best bid is right here at the bottom, and look at these fake orders. Nobody's selling 7.9 shares of Dogecoin. That's baloney. And nobody's selling 12 shares or like that. Nobody's buying 12 shares. Nobody says I'm willing to buy 12 shares at a certain price. Um, so what they do is they'll fill up the screen. I mean, sometimes I've got a picture here. I was actually showing this to somebody the other day, and the whole screen was all just baloney. It was just all so fake. I hate my phone because they did a Windows update or an Apple update and they changed things. Um, so I have to try to figure out how. I don't know if you can see. Do you see all those 300 share orders here? All those people
Yeah.
saying I'm willing to sell at 300 shares. Well, look, from the bottom to the top, what they're
Mhm.
doing is they're saying each of these, this is the order book. And what they're saying, this is the level 2 screen. They're saying I'm willing to sell 300 shares at that price. But once that 300 is gone, the next guy says I'm willing to also sell at this next price and I'm willing to sell this much at the next price. And whoever it was, they filled up the whole screen with all those 300 share orders. And what they did is they raised the price all the way up here. So if you want to buy 10,000 shares, say, you're going to burn through all those 300 share, the ones that want to sell at these prices. And if you add it all up, you're going to end up paying a sky high price in order to get your 10,000 shares because you're going to be paying this high price up here, not this low price down here. And the software, I know it. I hope I don't know if you understand all that, but it's manipulation. It's just ripping off the public because Joe Public doesn't understand that. Joe public is looking at the best price. When you look at things here, the current ask price and the current bid price, that's called the best bid and ask. The best bid price, which is the highest bid, and the best ask price is the lowest ask price. But those aren't real. A lot of those are not real. And the software adds up however many shares it needs that you want to buy or sell and looks at what the real price is going to be if you really try to buy or sell that coin. And so sometimes I'll get email from people and they'll say, that price has been above this price all day and my auto trader won't take the profit. Why not? Because it's not really there. If you really go to sell your coin at right now, you're going to pay some. I mean, you're going to get, well, you're going to sell on the bid. You're going to get this much lower fill.
Yeah, so
Or
I
if
need,
you're buying,
mm, yeah,
you're going to pay a lot higher.
yeah, same way in the stock markets too. As a trader, like Ed has access to that level two data, and just a regular retail people in the market, Coinbase, and you're not privy to see it. So that's the point, is that GoBabyTrade has access to that, and
And
so
it
it's like an
and it
institutional
uses
grade
it.
tool. Yeah, and it uses it for sure.
It actually
Um,
adds up the shares and says, well, if you want to buy 100,000 shares, this is how many shares, this is the price you're really going to end up paying,
yeah,
not this
yeah.
price down here at the bottom.
So Ed, before we go to the let's on this, people sometimes are asking on this left menu, the current profit saved. Why don't we go through some of those things so people understand some of the
Okay.
options here and how it works. And then we'll
Okay,
go to
we have
setting.
lots of servers. So this is just telling me what server my auto trader happens to be running on
Mhm.
right now. The auto traders can bounce around to different servers when you log in. You don't, that's not something you need to pay attention to. You don't see it on your screen. Um, it's just showing me it's a live trader. This is what my current account value is, how much profits I took today, and I didn't take any, and I'm okay with that. If the market doesn't want to give me any today, that's fine. I'm okay with it. Look at what it did down here at the bottom, real fast. Well, this one here just happens to be where I'm looking here, but you can see like it sold ACH at that time 0.022, and then it bought it right back the very next day, the next morning, 12 hours later it looks like, for a lower price. See, we got them trapped. They can't wiggle, they can't move without us buying or selling.
Yeah, yeah.
It's evil. I just feel so cool. I mean, I love it.
So
I mean, it's just fun. The market is just so much fun. But this shows the 30-day profit, which is pretty low for me, $4,900. Who could live on that? But it's a in the last 30 days, that's how much money it took. It's a slow market. I
yeah,
mean,
right now
sometimes
it's
this is
low.
up to $30,000.
Yeah,
I mean, but I've seen it as low as $1,200 in 30 days.
yeah.
It's up to the market, and it doesn't bother me because I know I can't control the market.
Hmm.
Most people, when they're out there changing strategies and doing all kinds of craziness out there, they're all they actually are thinking that somehow they can predict what the market's going to do, or somehow they think they can make the market do something. And it's like you just sit back and relax. The name of the game is trap the market. Now I got it trapped. I don't care what it does. Do what you want to do, market. But remember, if the BlackRock's sitting on $1 trillion of the crypto.
Yeah.
So if you're worried about you're not making your money today, they're not either. So don't worry about it.
And then
They'll take care of us.
the
And
total
then this is
profit.
the total profits.
Yeah, I love that this is one of your older ones that you started at that when
This
we
is
actually
my
kind of
first one.
this is your first one, and then the market dropped straight down.
Yeah, and it did. And it's fine. I've taken all this profit to offset these drops.
Yeah.
And this drop right here, this big drop here on GRT, that only happened in the last few months. And right away I noticed, I saw it when it was happening. I'm like, GRT's in play, baby. I can see it. Because this is
Mhm.
what they do. They drive, and I've been watching it for 25 years. They drive the coins into the ground when they want to load up, and they just trying to get as many shares as they can. Just like in 2008 when they pushed the bank stocks down to $1, and they pushed how many people sold their bank stocks at $1, and then they rocketed the bank stocks to $50 a share, and they got a 50 times return. Unbelievable. And left the public behind as always.
Yeah.
Only they're not leaving us behind. We got them trapped. And I got them trapped at the bottom, baby. It's like, go, now I got you. You can't wiggle without giving me money. And if you try to go higher, like ACH last January, a year ago, it went from 2 cents, almost just a little, 2.2 cents to 5.6 cents, which is almost 2 cents to 6 cents, which should be a 200% return in 5 days. And all we did is we just sold a buttload of inventory off. If I scroll down here, let's just look at the dates here on the right. Oh, look, I already got there. That was fast. You can see ACH just took off. Look at all these closes.
Yeah.
The auto trader just took off, starting to close all that inventory that I bought below that price.
Yeah.
And it's just free money. It started on January 26th. So you can see all these crazy trades that it was making. All these closed trades. And you see all these buys in the middle of it. Because even while it was rocketing up, it was still trying to pull back a little and then going higher, pulling back higher, pulling back
Yeah.
higher. Each time it pulled back, we bought more. So not only were we selling off the inventory that we bought when it was coming down and we held, we're selling off inventory we just bought. So we're double dipping on the way back up. And it was just, and this went on for just days. It went on for 5 days. ACH just kept going, buying and selling, buying and selling. And, it's free money.
Mhm.
Such, like I said, it's the crypto market's an insult to humanity. Anybody that doesn't have an auto trader, you're just gambling.
Mhm.
What does most people do? You buy a bunch of coins and you sit on them and you hope they go up. And that's all you got. And you're missing thousands of trades.
Well, and you can
It's just,
still buy your favorite
it's
coins.
painful.
Sometimes I think about, Bitcoin maxis and Ethereum. Like you could technically be trading that in something like this, and now at least you're buying and holding, but you're trading it while it's in its low mode, right? You could, but it's a much more
Yeah.
conservative position. It's not actively trading, but I have had people, want to be super conservative, and you can certainly do that. So what if you bought Bitcoin at 115, last year, and then it's down here now. You're just waiting, waiting, waiting. You could
Yeah.
still trading those moves,
That's
and
not conservative. That's just
yeah,
not smart.
yeah.
Because if you
um,
buy a coin and just sitting on it doesn't make you
yeah.
conservative.
Well, no, I was
It
saying
just
if
means
if
you're sitting on a
it,
loser while it's going down, while
I
it's
was
wiggling and going down.
Ed,
And then now you're out of the game. If,
I was,
like, some people say, should I stop trading more? Should I stop buying more? Well, if you stop up here and then the coin drops 30% more, it's got to go up 30% before you can even break even.
I
With
was,
us,
and I
you're
was
just constantly taking money. You don't even care if it goes back up there.
I was referring that Bitcoin would be a conservative crypto to be trading with, not that it would be conservative to buy and hold
Oh yeah.
because it
Oh,
doesn't
that's a
move as much,
gimme.
but so it would be more conservative. But you could, but technically do that. So on the total profits taken, because Murray was just asking if you pull out profits, does that save impact your trader? And no. So you can see that Ed's profits since December 19th, 2021 are right there. I think you started this trader with 200,000. And you can
Yep.
click that current profits saved and manage profits button, Murray. So you can save your profits, which Ed generally recommends to
Oh,
do.
down here. Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
managed profits down here, I've got 109,000.
And Ed
And
has a
that is,
Coinbase card, so he uses this to live
yeah.
off of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I use that, my Coinbase, oh, I was just looking to see if my wallet was here. It's not here. But every time I use my Coinbase card, I think to myself, the card that keeps on giving, it's just free money because no matter how much I use, I can't spend it. You know, it's just I just use it, use the card for free. It's a free card. Wouldn't you love to have a card in your wallet that you just use wherever you go and you don't even think about money at all?
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
So in the part where you have your profits there and you use a Coinbase card, do you use it just for tracking purposes of your purchases rather than just transferring cash out into your bank account?
Well, no. I mean, you could do either anything you wanted. You could do that if you wanted to. I think it's not for tracking purposes. Not primarily this is to make sure the auto trader doesn't use the money.
So
So
if
the auto trader is using the principal money that was put in,
okay.
but it's not using the profits.
So if you
So,
take
and I
money,
can,
if you take money out, do you have to reduce this here manually as far as
yeah. If you were to take like I bought a Range Rover last year and it cost 200,000. So I wouldn't want that 200,000 to come out of my principal money that the auto trader is using. So in that case, I took it out to the bank account to use it. Um, I came back in here. Let me see if this is the count I used. It was last year. So each time I withdraw big money, or in this case, like here, where I just released $10,000 to the auto trader. You're just releasing money to the auto trader and
Yeah.
telling it, I don't want to save this anymore. You can use it.
Yep.
But let me see. It was in 24. No, this wasn't the account. I have another account. I have multiple trading accounts. One of my other accounts, I took 200,000 out to pay for the Range Rover. But it was just to me, it's just free money, you know.
okay, so
But
but you
I
went
don't
into the
worry about my day-to-day usage. I don't worry about, I mean, I got hundreds of thousands of dollars in here to work with. I don't, if I go to the select currencies screen, and there's only a few screens under they're all under your menu. Um, this is showing me how much money each symbol still has to work with. And the coins are sitting at the bottom already. So it's not like they need a lot of money, really. We're sitting at the bottom,
Yeah.
of the market. These coins don't really have much further they could go down
Yeah.
without going out of business.
A really great time. It really is
Yeah,
to back up
so
the
I
truck.
mean, I've already got a lot of money in here. I don't worry about my day-to-day usage, but anytime I want, I could go back to my money management or manage profits here, and I could just come in here right now and just say minus 10,000.
and that'll take it and reduce.
It'll just lower this number by 10,000, which means the auto trader now has an extra 10,000 to use. So if I come back over here, watch this. You got 51, 59. Let me refresh this screen.
Okay.
And you see that 51 and 59 went to 53 and 61. It saw the extra 10,000 and it automatically divvied it up to these coins.
But you put that money profits back into the account to be able to use that money. But if you want to just withdraw cash, do you still put the same, do you put that amount in as a negative when you edit the profits?
I think you just
I
mentally
would,
kind of
well, if I like
right?
took, I don't, if I like took out $10,000 of cash at the bank,
Uh-huh.
the bank is going to take out 10,000. So these numbers are automatically going to be reduced by 10,000 because the auto trader doesn't know what happened. All it knows is 10,000 of cash just disappeared.
Uh-huh.
So then what I would do then in that case is I would come in here and I would subtract it out of here so it's not double taking out because you already took the 10,000 at the bank plus this is holding all that reserve money so I could release it here. You'll get real good at this in no time, believe me. It's so
Yeah.
easy
So
to manage.
I think the thought process then, Ed, for Karen, if I'm understanding correctly, is if let's say she withdrew 10 grand from current profits saved and there's 20 in there, If she releases 10 to the auto trader and pulls the 10 out, that would be, kind of best
It would be an offset.
practices.
Yeah, it would. It
But
would be a
that's not
wash.
what I want to do. If I want to take profits and put it into my cash, my bank account, not put it back into the trader, or as you use your Coinbase cards to withdraw profits. I don't have one, so I'm trying to figure out how to
No,
It
withdraw
adjusts
you
profits.
could
for
do
it,
it.
though, either way, I
You
think.
can just take it out to the bank. It would be the same thing. But if you have the profits in here, you should also remove it from here.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
that the
that's
10,000 is coming out of your saved money and not out of the principal that the auto trader is using.
But won't it do both of it? As far as if I take money out and put it in my bank, I have to come here and reduce the 10,000, but then it's going to make the trader take 10,000 out of the saved funds that's in my Coinbase account, right?
so
Yeah,
this
but this is part of your account value already. This is already part of your account. This is just a number. This is
Okay.
nothing more than a physical number that tells the auto trader don't use whatever this amount is.
Okay.
Yeah, and this
So
is
now
really
I
for
want to tell it to use 10,000 less.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is really just for our purposes, Karen. Like this is the interface. I mean, the actual trader is millions of lines of code in the cloud and all of that. But we have this to show us what's going on. In Coinbase, we'll see all the transactions and trades within our Coinbase account too, right? But in order for us to know, Coinbase doesn't separate it out. We just see one big cash position, but GoBabyTrade knows how much of that cash is profit saved and how much it's actually has access to trade. So it's just good maybe for our own peace of mind to subtract out. If you're going to spend the 10K, then subtract that out of your profit saved. And it technically, releases it. But in your mind now, you only have another 20 to spend without impacting the auto trader, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the auto trader knows when it gets here to allocate these funds
Yeah.
that to subtract out of your account value of your cash of your USDC to subtract out any amount saved, and then that's this is the
Just
remaining
leftover.
number
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well,
Sure.
anytime you want to do it, Karen, you can always give me a call and we can talk it out.
Okay.
No
Sounds good.
problem.
Thank you.
That's cool. So yeah, this is telling the auto trader this is how much money I have available per coin to work with. And it says add on price declines. And here I have add on as price advances, as price goes higher. I don't add as the price goes higher because I'm closing positions as they go higher. So it doesn't matter. Say I'm sitting on these two positions, two lots of one coin. When I sell the position profitably, this one here, I'm still underwater now on this one. So when I add, I'm still adding to decliners because I'm still sitting on that one that I bought at a higher price. If I was to check this one, then it says it doesn't really make a lot of sense to have that checked and have allow sells checked because I'm just going to close this one and I'm going to be adding, if I add, I'm going to be adding to a decliner. So it really doesn't matter. But some people are like dollar cost averaging in like XRP, right? And they're saying, I don't want to sell it, just accumulate at the right times because the auto trader is great at money management and dollar cost averaging. So then, say I bought ACH or XRP at 50 cents and now it's at $2. If I don't have add to advancer, I won't be able to add because if I bought this one at 50 cents, it's going to say only add on decliners. It's got to go below 50 cents. So in that case, I would check that because then because the price is above it, I'm going to add up here. So I can add to advancers and decliners. But I don't need it checked if I'm closing positions. Because then I can add to decliners, and that's all I
Well,
need to do. Because when the price goes higher, I'm going to sell it at all. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to sell it, and then buy it again.
and I don't want anybody to feel like confused. This is all at the beginning part.
This is all
We walk you
default
through
stuff.
all of it. Yeah, and it's all default stuff. But let's quickly go over the rest of the settings. We had a couple people have
All
to
right.
off, but we'll cover this
All
real
right. Well,
quick.
here's the edit strategy screen. It's only one screen. I got rid of 10 screens of stuff that will make you blow up. You don't even need all that. You know, it's AI enabled. This stuff here is designed to slow the trader down when things are going, if the market's just crashing in a day. It's like, hey, I don't want to just go buy, 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 buy while it's going down, 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 down. Let the market breathe. If it wants to go down 12%, I can let it go down and then buy it. I don't have to buy it on on as it's going down. Just, especially if it's all going to happen in a few minutes. So this is designed to slow it down. This says if I'm ever, in my case, I've got it set to like $10,000 because it was getting in the way of big moves. The default is like $100. What that is if you ever, let's just look here real fast. Oh, just do it. Let's go to menu and hit my trader. There. I'm going to look into filled orders here in a second. All right. I'm just searching for the word take. Right here. It's like take this amount if reached. It says, because that's to cover you in case a coin spikes. Because a lot of times when it spikes, it'll come right back down a minute later or a couple minutes. So if it spikes up, just grab that money right away because it's coming right back down. Don't wait for AI and other rules to take place. Just grab the money. Like you notice it grabbed $321 on a normal move, but then the AI, that said, it just, soon as it did a big spike, I said, grab that right away, that 1,300. And then a normal one is $299. It didn't spike. So when it spikes, grab more. And that's what all this take this amount if reached, take this amount if reached. That's that indicator. Whoops, I was on the wrong screen again. That's what that is. At that time, I had it set to $1,000, so I even raised it since then. And then your profit goal is 5%, not rocket science. When it goes up 5%, the software says, I want to take profit. But then it calls the AI and says, what do you think, AI? Do you think it's going to go higher in the next few minutes? You notice I said the next few minutes. I didn't say, is it going to go higher tomorrow or an hour from now? It's like no AI can tell you what's going to happen an hour from now or a day from now. Never. If I had that indicator, I'd be richer than Warren Buffett. I mean, the fact is, there's no indicator that'll tell you that because all the indicators break down, all the technical indicators. AI is a snapshot of what the market's doing at this instant in time. And this instant in time is going to expire in like 20 or 30 minutes, and all these indicators are going to change. So, and then when it looks at it again, it's going to say, I don't see a pattern. I don't see a pattern that tells me it's going to go higher. So, in any case, so the profit goal is 5%. So, even without the AI, the software knows I've made 5%. Give me the money. Just take it. System calc, lot size options. It's trading in equal funds.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make the same amount of money per trade if the price is all the way at the top versus all the way at the bottom. It's going to be the same because I'm investing the same amount of money for each trade. So that's what that is. Add shares on price moves. I said price moves instead of price drops because you can add to winners and losers, right? So it's
Yeah.
just a word. But if I'm only adding losers, it's saying add on 3% drops.
Yeah.
And then maximum number of lots is 60 lots. Why 60 lots? I'll tell you, because if I go over here, I look at my lot count, 22, 23, 46. See that 46 lots here on GRT? So I raised it to 60. I told it, cover me all the way down to 60 lots, which would put that coin at zero, by the way,
Yeah, and one of
if
the
it went.
advantages, since Murray had been asking too, to saving profits is if you happen to drop below the trade window. I mean, we're already at, crazy lows right now, but if it happened to
Yeah.
drop, below
Well,
that,
it
if
did.
you had
It
saved
reached it.
profits, then you can release it back to the trader.
You can release the profits, right? And
Yeah.
that's why your default setting is set to 3% drops for
Yeah.
25 lots, which covers you to a 75% trading
Yeah.
window drop.
And we fell
From
below
when
it.
I say when you first go into a coin, you're going, I call that the top, and 75% down. You're covered as long as that coin stays within that 75% trading window. If it drops, if a coin actually drops more than 75%, then
Mhm.
you're going to have to raise this number a little. But where are you going to get the funds? Because all the money, see what it says here, all funds except the profit saved be used within that 25% window. The software knows that it's to use up all that money within that window.
Mhm.
All the money that we had set on this screen. So that 53,000, if I make it all the way to the bottom, is going to get used up, right? Well, my bottom now, because I raised this, is 100%. But if I say it went below the 75% and and it used up that money, that's what Francine was saying, I could go to the save bucket and release that 100,000 that I had to the trader, and then increase this like I did. I increased it to 60.
Mhm.
So now I'm covered all the way to the bottom. My expected trading window now is all the way to the bottom, which means the coin has to go out of business now to take me out. Otherwise, I'm going to continue trading down here
Yeah.
and wherever it goes for the rest of my life.
Let,
So
that's
that's it, a simple screen of settings.
It's really simple, and you guys do such a good job helping people, and I hop on and help people get their traders
Right.
connected. It takes minutes, and let's look at the top trader report really quick to give people an idea, because we can look at other things that folks are
Okay.
trading and the results that they're having. And so this is a
Okay.
report. If you guys go to
What I wanted to say was, oh yeah, all right, I'm sorry. If you go to the website, yeah, it's
Yeah, it's right
top
there. You,
traders
you
there.
can have it, and I'll post a link below. I mean, if you um a couple people are asking I'll post the link, the discount link for the pricing if you wanted to purchase a subscription. But yeah, and I know, Ed, I just want to preface, if you do go to the top traders, that I know you weed out the 6 and 7 figure accounts because you don't want people to think they have to have a lot of money. Because I know, folks have got big
This
accounts.
is all you need, anything.
Yeah, so this is just more representational of like the average person, what they might invest,
Yeah.
put into the
What
trade.
what Francine was saying was last year I was allowing all the big accounts to come in to this report. And the feedback that I was getting was people were saying, well, I don't have, $1 million to trade with, and I'm like, well, you need $1 million. Unfortunately, the guys with $1 million accounts were flooding this screen with with their returns. So I said, let's get rid of all the ridiculously big accounts. Plus, let's get rid of all the accounts where anybody did a manual trade. If you did a manual trade, you're not in this report. I want to see what the auto trader does all by itself. And another thing I wanted to say before we came to this screen was all these settings, by the way, they're already all set. You don't have to do that. When you sign up, you're already done. All you do is put in some symbols, and we even tell you on the sign up page right away, right after you sign up. We say here's 3 suggested coins that are big moving coins, high volatility coins. So you don't even have to do anything. So getting started is like you'll be trading live within 10 minutes pretty easily. So this shows like this guy started 12 months ago because it's a 1 year report. with $163, and he took $465 in profits. Because that's what's important. The physical profits you took off the table. That's a 284% return. Think Warren Buffett would like that? Seriously. This guy started at $5,000. He took $8,200 of physical profits. Physical profits means you closed the trade, you got the money, go spend it. It's your money. 162% return. That's what that return is. You know, and it shows you all of these. And you can click on it like view details, and it actually shows you the coins he's trading. And what his percents are set for each coin, and whether he has a lot. I didn't change this to add on decliners and add to advancers. I didn't feel like just changing the report. I'm just lazy, all right? Because really, there would be three things to check here, not just allow buy and allow sell. It would be allow to add to advancer and add to decliner and allow sells. So, but this is just as good.
Yeah.
You're adding. And then it shows you what his profit goal is, because these are the most important fields right here. Profit goal, add on 3% drops, how many lots you want to go. 3 times 30 is a 90% drop. Very easy to calculate. If I start buying here and it drops 3% and I buy again, and then it drops another 3% and I buy again, I do that 30 times all the way down. 3 times 30 is 90% drop. You're covered to a 90% trading window. That means you don't even care where the coin goes within that 90% window. You've already won. I mean, you've already won the minute the auto trader made a purchase. Suzanne, you're not leaving, are you?
And let's open it up for questions since we were about an hour and 20 minutes in. Jeffrey's asking, can you pay for GoBabyTrade with crypto, USDC, USDT? I did post the link in the chat,
Yes.
Ed, with the price. Yes, you can. What is it now? USDC and USDT, or one or the other?
USDC.
USDC.
Or USD or USDC.
USDC. They can do either USDT or C?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Or a credit card. You can
No,
just
you can't do USDT. You can do USD or USDC.
Oh, yeah, USDC.
There is no USDT.
Yeah, no option for that one. Okay, so USDC.
Well, I don't know. You could probably pay. You mean when you're talking about paying for crypto?
No, we're purchasing the subscription. The options are credit card or USDC. Yeah.
You can you can pay with a credit card or any crypto. It doesn't matter. Coinbase, it's a Coinbase process. So you can put in whatever symbol you want. They just convert it to cash.
Oh, yeah. You can.
They don't give us the coin.
Right. They give you just need to get it into USDC, and that's how you pay for GoBabyTrade if you want to use crypto. Yeah.
No. Coinbase doesn't care what coin you're using to pay for the crypto. When Coinbase wrote the process, the payment process for cryptos, paying with crypto. Well, so what it is when you go to pay for the coin, when you pay to sign up, you can say credit card or crypto. If you say crypto, Coinbase is going to show you all I mean, I haven't done it, but I think they're just going to say, how do you want to pay? Which crypto do you want to use? And you're just going to pick one. And then they're going to convert that coin to cash for us.
Is this after the API is already connected to your account?
No.
Okay.
No, right. It's not.
So I don't know. I wasn't aware that could happen that way. I just thought people sent it to your address, your USDC address.
No, that's not how it happens. You're not sending it to my address.
Okay.
You're paying with the payment. Crypto payment process Coinbase's payment process that they wrote.
So you're going through a Coinbase. Okay. All right. Haven't done.
Usually
people will use a credit card and
you don't even need a Coinbase account to pay with crypto.
Interesting, Ed. I didn't realize
that. The world's going to crypto. The world's going to crypto. You can buy a candy bar with crypto.
So you can use your Bitcoin, Coinbase is a payment processor, and it finds its way to Ed
Yep.
now in USDC.
And we got a lot of people paying with crypto, yeah. But most pay with just a debit card,
Yeah, yeah,
debit or credit card.
yeah,
That's just as easy. It's really easy on either one.
yeah.
So somebody, oh,
If so,
did
Murray is asking if you use your crypto to pay for, we have to pay capital gains tax on the crypto used, or will you not? This is a good question we get a lot, Ed.
if you're selling the crypto, I imagine if you're selling it at a higher price than you paid for it, because you are basically selling that coin
Yeah.
when you pay with if you pay with crypto. So yeah, if
Uh,
you're selling it at a profit,
Well, and Coinbase will keep track of that. And Murray, that brings us to a really good point too, which a lot of people do ask with all the trading that and profit taking that's occurring, what that looks like from a tax perspective too. And we're not, tax
nothing.
advisors or anything, but because Ed always says nothing too, because the way that Coinbase accounts for trading, it's the first in, first out. So you might buy, let's just say you buy a token at $1, it drops to 80 cents, you buy a little bit more, then it drops to 75 cents, you buy a little bit more, and then it pops up to 90 cents. It's going to sell the lot it bought at 75 at 80 and hold this one up here. The Coinbase pairs the one it bought at $1 with what you just sold at 90 cents and takes that loss. So it's always reporting them as losses, whereas GoBaby, we know what's for real. So Ed, do you ever pay taxes on your crypto? GoBaby.
Not really, not really.
Yeah.
Because let me re-explain what Francine just said.
Yeah.
Let's say you bought something at $10 and then the price dropped to $1 and then you bought it again, which the auto trader would do, and then say it jumps to $3 and then we sell the one we bought at $1, we know we sold it profitably. You would say, well, there's taxes, right? However, Coinbase doesn't know we sold the one we bought at $1. They're logging it as if we sold the one at $10 and that when we sold the one at instead of 3. So they're logging it as a big fat loss. They're saying you bought it at 10 and you sold it at 3. That's a $7 loss. So for tax purposes, they're showing huge losses. Now that's that, but also on these trade fees, that's for taxes. Now for the trade fees, the auto trader adds that profit. My profit goal is 5%, right? But it added probably another 1% to cover the fees. So that 323 is after trade fees already. This is net profit. So you're winning all different ways with this system. I've been doing this 25 years. I found tricks of the trade everywhere I look. It has constantly made the trader better and better and smarter and smarter. And I've been doing nothing but that for 25 years. Can you imagine what a boring life I have? But I love what I'm doing, and I'll do it. I'll do it till I die. And it's fun because nobody believes it can be done. For 25 years, I hear people say, "Well, there's no way that could be real, right?" And I love it. And all these bots that are popping up these last few years, they're all baloney. They're not even real. These people don't know anything, and they're AI. AI is a learning system. AI can't tell you 1 plus 1 is 2. It's got to learn that from patterns and history. Their AI, even if their AI was real, which I don't believe it's real, but even if it was real, they can't know what they don't know because they haven't seen history the last 25 years. They can only know what they learned, what their AI learned in the last couple of years because they simply didn't exist before that.
Mhm.
So it'd be like a foot race, a 25-year-old running a race against a 2-year-old. They don't even have a prayer. And because their AI doesn't know what it doesn't know, it hasn't seen the patterns.
Mhm.
This auto trader has been getting smarter and smarter for 25 years. And I've been doing AI forever, since 1989 at Microsoft. I was doing AI at Microsoft to handle the millions of phone calls that were coming in. Um, so a person didn't have to deal with it.
And so
So
it really is.
we're so far ahead of everybody. I have literally no competitors and I've conquered the market, and that feels good. I love to hear it. And I'm the youngest of 6 kids. I like to hear people say, Ed, you're doing good. And I hear it every single day of my life.
I didn't know you
And
were the
it feels
youngest of
good. I'm
six.
helping everybody. Pardon me?
I didn't know that, Ed. You were the youngest of six. Wow, I learned something new about you.
I'm
That's
a
pretty
baby. I
incredible. You're just
cry.
a
I
baby.
cry if I don't get my way. I've been crying since I was a baby, and I cry still. I
Well, we're
cried
glad
to
you didn't
myself
just
many
cry over your
times.
glasses and you created this incredible program. Um, so are there
I
any
don't
other
have anybody
questions?
telling me I can't do it, and that's the beauty. I can
Yeah.
just keep making it better and better and better. And if you think of all the programs I did, like you mentioned 200 programs in nuclear engineering, think of all the for 8 years at Microsoft I was programming too. I mean 8.5 years at Microsoft plus in the Navy for another 8 years. I was working on all different programs. And what's nice for the last 25 years, I've only been working on one, which is so cool. And that you can just concentrate on one thing, and instead of 1,000 programs, I only have to deal with one and just make it better and better and better. And I get feedback constantly, and everybody's happy. Everybody's making money. So, and it feels good to be, I mean, look at this one here, 10:10 a.m. took $318, look at this one here. It bought shares at 2:03 a.m., and it's just, it's here. I mean, day and night here, at 5:24 p.m., $300. If you just go down, and you can see 7:52 a.m., and if you just go down, you see crazy stuff happening in early morning hours, at midnight, at 2 in the morning, you're doing stuff. It's nice to just open up your lid on your laptop in the morning and see how much money you made while you were sleeping, and it's just it changes you. Metaphysically, it will change you. Once you have an auto trader, you no longer even think about the market. You don't worry about what's going on in the market. You just know if it's a nice up day, you're just selling a buttload of inventory off profitably. Like this stuff here. It's just a constant flow of free money, I call it. It's just a constant flow of, and you don't even worry about what the market's doing anymore. You don't no more staring at screens. It's just you're in game. You're done with the planet. Because then things start changing in your head, man. I'm gonna tell you, I'm like on Vicodin, I mean, you would think that. Because I'm
Um,
just walking on air. No, really, because I don't worry about the market at all. I don't even look at my trader. I mean, I was excited. I felt good when we just when I saw ACH was up up like this, because I don't even look at my trader unless I'm doing a webinar. I don't worry about it. Whatever it's doing, the auto traders are doing it. And believe me, if anything was going wrong, my phone would be blowing up.
well, that's what amazes
Just,
me, Ed, is that it's you and your son Steven, who's an amazing programmer himself. And you have like
even is,
maybe
yeah.
a handful, a couple free support people or so with thousands and thousands of accounts. Like you just don't need it. You guys have been such a smooth operator, truly. So kudos to you because, all the other platforms I tried were just like, oh, they just were so glitchy. But there's like,
Well,
there's never a glitch. How do you even do that?
Well, for years and years and years,
Yeah,
if something
yeah.
goes wrong, you put something in to counter it, and you just keep getting smarter and smarter. It's
Hmm.
like Matt Damon. I think it was Matt Damon in the Martian, that movie, The Martian. He
Yeah.
said you just keep doing the math. You solve one problem, and then you solve another, and you solve another, and you solve another, and you solve another, and then you get to go home. Otherwise, you know, and you just keep solving problems. And what's nice about programming, I said it in the beginning, it never forgets rules, which is so cool. It's got so many things built into it, and it's not just market stuff. It's also broker problems and exchange problems, and data feed problems, and you have cleaning the data processes I've written to make sure that the prices are right, because sometimes something will come in with a misplaced decimal point. You'd be surprised the garbage the broker will throw at you. And the software counters all that, multiple data feeds, syncing up. There's just a lot of stuff, backups, hourly backups, on every server, constantly. You don't even worry about if a server crashes. It doesn't even matter, because if a server crashes, all the auto traders that were running on that server will just automatically within 10 minutes get picked up by the other servers that are running auto traders. So you're never down. And what's nice about the crypto market, it's 24/7. I mean, we can talk about that. It's nothing but improvements over the stock market. I mean, it's the crypto market is the greatest thing in the history of the world. This is, I mean, you'd think the crypto market was made for the auto trader, or the auto trader was made for the crypto market. Amazingly, after 21 years of just doing stocks, when I flipped over to start doing cryptos, I said, wait a minute, this is exactly the same as stocks. The only difference is, I mean, there's a lot of differences besides the 24/7. The coins move 20 times more than stocks. I mean, every day. I mean, look at this. And I don't care if it's up or down. The fact is that minus 4% is gold. Minus 4%, minus 4%, up 5%. I mean, it's just gold, because if it's going down 4%, tomorrow it'll go up 4%, and we're buying while it's down and then while it's up. So we don't care where anything goes. It's just moving around. And we never talked about the highest trade count report. I
Yeah.
used to, if we have a couple minutes, we have a few minutes to talk about it, Francine?
Yeah, go ahead. We're at an
Okay.
hour and 36 minutes. But yeah, and if anybody has questions, you guys just unmute and raise your hand or put it in the chat.
Yeah, we should talk about any concerns you might have, because you got to get an auto trader. And here's the deal.
And
There's multiple reasons why. And I'm not a salesman, but I got to tell you this,
uh,
because I hear it all the time. Number one, every day that you don't have an auto trader, is your auto trader is not prepping, not cornering the market. And also you're not making any money. It's just free money. And I hear people say when they sign up, yeah, man, I heard about this 6 months ago. Man, I should have signed up then. And I hear that a lot. 6 months ago or a year ago, and finally they sign up. I mean, you got to get on board, because when you first sign up, you only are going to buy one lot of that coin. And then the auto trader's got to build that inventory. 22 lots, 23 lots, 46 lots. This one here, 46 lots, 33 lots. It takes months to build that kind of inventory. This is what you call a well-seasoned auto trader. I've got the market trapped at the bottom. And anytime they try to do a big move, like a 20% move, I got a lot of inventory to sell off. And it sells it off, and you lock in all that profit. I use an example. If you had a 7-Eleven and you only have one bag of potato chips on the shelf, and a bunch of people on here already own an auto trader, they already know what I'm going to say next. A school bus pulls in with a bunch of kids, you're only going to sell one bag of potato chips. It's the same thing here. If you only own one lot of a coin and that coin jumps 30% tomorrow, you're only going to sell one lot. But if I've got 20 bags, I might sell 5 bags or 6 bags or 8 bags or 10 bags of potato chips all at once. So you want to take advantage of those runs. Everybody wants the market to go up. Most people want the market to go up, and they don't even own any shares. They're hoping that they can just buy it, and then it'll go up, and you got to have inventory. The auto trader builds inventory. That's what I call a well-seasoned auto trader. It's been running a long time. It's got the market trapped at the bottom. You got all this inventory at all these different prices. And when that price starts jumping, you start selling all this inventory off at beautiful profits. So, the sooner you get started, the sooner the game begins. Otherwise, wait.
Yeah.
You will sign up, whether you do it now or you do it 6 months from now. You will eventually sign up because this is the only robotic trade in existence in reality. I've looked at other of those bots. Some people ask me, hey, Ed, will you look at this bot or that bot? I looked at one, it said, I mean, a couple that really struck me. One said, when I went and looked at it, it said, we have 1 to 51 to 50 strategies you can pick from. I'm like, you got 50 strategies that make money? That's interesting because you know what? I got one. You got 50 strategies that make money? Don't give me that. That's called gambling. And another one said, if you pay us this much money, we'll give you one strategy, but if you give us more money, we'll give you a better strategy. Goodbye. Goodbye. Right now, when you sign up, you're running the same strategy I'm running, the same strategy thousands of other GoBabyTrade clients are running. We're not out here. We're not changing the strategy. We're not chasing the market. The market it just comes to us. So, what I was talking about, if you were running a 7-Eleven, you would want the products on your shelf that move the most. Again, everything I say is common sense. You would want the products that move the most. You wouldn't want to sell something and put it on a shelf if it doesn't sell, if it doesn't move. So interestingly, I've always mentioned that 7-Eleven that you would probably sit down with a distributor. I never created a 7-Eleven or open one, but it was common sense to me that I'm not going to talk to thousands of vendors. I'm going to probably talk to a distributor that deals with all those vendors.
Yeah.
And they're going to show me the stuff that moves the most. So somebody actually emailed me this report, a 7-Eleven best-selling inventory list. Coffee, Monster drinks, Red Bull, Doritos down here, just cigarettes. These are the big moving items. This tells you average sales per day, estimated monthly sales. And what do you have at the bottom? I used to always tell them in my examples, I would say you probably wouldn't have very many Band-Aids or iodine. So I think the guy that gave me this report, because he always heard me talk about it in my webinars,
Yeah.
I think he just added those two at the bottom, and I appreciate that.
Pretty funny.
But in any case, most
It's
people wouldn't even
eye-opening.
know what most people don't know what iodine is.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to trade the junk at the bottom of the report. I want to trade the stuff. I want to sell the stuff at the top. So we have what we call the highest trade count report. And if you go to the website, there it is, trade counts. So that's the highest trade count report. Some people call this the $1 million report. It's released once a month, and it covers each month. We add to it each month. We add the next month. There's November, there's December. In February 1st, we'll release the January will show up here. And it shows how many trades you would have done that month if you were trading that coin or during those months. And this one here, we look at the annual, previous year's trades closed. And this one closed 1,500. Closed trades is profitable trades. They're all every close is a profitable trade. So Lock-In had 1,500 trades last year. Swift had 1,485. And you can go down, here's SPA down here, 1,369. The further you go down the report, the smaller the annual trades get. I mean, you wouldn't want to be trading the junk at the bottom of this report. 136 trades in a year, 7 trades in a month, 9 trades, 8 trades, 4 trades, 2 trades, just junk. I don't want to trade the garbage at the bottom of this report. I want to trade the stuff that's going to give me much better numbers, 47, 172. Even these numbers aren't really that good for that one coin. But look at this one here. That's pretty nice, consistent numbers. Giga. Um,
hmm Yeah, so
I
you
mean,
have
look at this
some.
one here, 201 trades, 260. I mean, this is beautiful numbers, key. A lot of people are trading key now. I see that in their
So,
traders.
so,
Carrot, this is another popular one now. XCN, these coins here, real popular.
so Ed,
And you're turning inventory. Yes?
yeah. Yeah, so I'm just wondering because I get asked what you recommend because these are always changing. Like Carrot may not be at the very top trader report, in 3 months from now, but we always stick with the same tokens. Like your top four, you're not like selling out because you may have to sell inventory at a loss. You're in it for the long haul. So some people are like, well, I want to make sure I'm picking cryptos that are going to be around for the next many years. So I'm not, although we're at pretty low prices.
I
So
can
maybe
tell you.
you want, like, how do you figure that out? Because I know you have your default tokens, and what are those right now
Well,
for
the
new people
default
coming?
ones, when I started from 4 years ago, that report didn't exist. I didn't create that report yet. I
Yeah,
only created that report
you
last
take
year,
those. Yeah.
um, the highest trade count report. In the beginning, Coinbase only had about 35 coins you could trade, and and these were what I picked. I said Alchemy Pay. I said, wow, that's like Apple Pay worldwide, and now they partnered with Apple Pay, so which is cool. So I was right. I was preaching that for 4 years. I'm like, man, ACH is like Apple Pay, man, and they're going for a penny. This is ridiculous. This is what an opportunity to be able to buy that. So ACH and then Dogecoin. Every time Elon Musk used to talk, you remember he used to come on TV
Right.
and he'd say, "Yeah, you can buy a Tesla with your Dogecoin." Frankly, I could buy a Tesla with any coin. Just sell the coin and buy the car. But when he would say that, the coin would jump 30%.
Yeah, to
So it's
Doge.
crazy, man. It's just free money. So
I
it's
was
like, so I
curious
said,
about your most recent tokens, though. I know.
well, the recent ones in my most recent trader that I bought, I just went to to the highest trade count report and I grabbed the top five. It was a few months ago. The top five coins, and they were like L3, what you can look at right now. If I wanted to grab the top five here right now, what I would do is I would say this. I'm trading at Coinbase. So when you look at the available exchanges here, you don't want that one. Unfortunately, it's a beautiful coin. A lot of people are just cleaning up. I looked at one guy's trader yesterday. It was just crazy. I think he had like 27 trades yesterday. It was just nuts in one day. And these
Mm-hmm.
are monthly numbers here. So that's gonna have a killer number when I do the January report. I already know it.
Mm-hmm.
So Swift, I believe that I don't want a meme coin, so that's out. So Swift is a utility coin. That means they make money, they're a real company, and they're at Coinbase. Okay? Um, Going down the list, the next utility is all the way down here to SPA. If you're at Kraken, you can't trade these. So SPA is a utility and it's at Coinbase. Okay. Next one down, PRCL. People are trading that now. It's a utility. It's at both Coinbase and Kraken. And you know what's interesting is look at these numbers. Can you imagine all these closed trades? And every one of those trades is a profitable trade. How beautiful is that? PRCL. So I like that. I'd go down again to the next utility, XCN. A lot of people are trading that coin. Did 1,200 trades, 100 trades a month last year on average. So XCN is a utility and it's at both exchanges. Carrot, another utility. I mean, I say anything in the top 20 that's a utility and at the exchange that you're trading in
Mm-hmm.
is fair game,
Yep.
you
And then
know,
to
and
make it easy, you do have plug in, is it three default tokens right now? So if people just want to click default, those are the ones that Ed picks that he sees people doing well with. But it
yeah, a
may
lot
fall,
of people are trading.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So very,
Yeah, and it's real easy. I mean, you're up and running in minutes, man.
mm,
And everybody should have an auto trader. However, I understand that, the brainwashing is out there. because well, if it sounds too good to be true, then it's not, or then it's not true. Okay, that's been going around. Let me tell you something, some of you young people, that's been going around. That phrase is going around for 100 years. That is, you've heard that all the time. If it sounds too good to be true, then it's not true. All right, well then that eliminates everything that's new or good.
Wow.
Another one, somebody asked me, well, if GoBabyTrade is so real, how come everybody's not using it? And my answer was when I emailed them back, I said, how come everybody's not drinking bottled water? Because some people think tap water is just fine.
And
Everybody's not going to do everything, but mostly the reason people aren't using it is they don't know about it. And plus, there's a lot of corruption out there. So many fake bots.
yeah,
But you have to look at history and you have to say, wait a minute, GoBabyTrade, this technology that I created has been running for 25 years.
mhm.
And for the first 21, it was only stocks and there were no bots. Plus, you have to say, well, what brokers did he automate? TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, MB Trading, E-Trade, Charles Schwab. I mean, I automated all these brokers. Do you think they would let me do that? And they didn't have APIs, by the way. They didn't have it so easy. I had to actually write the code on my side and their side to make the trading work because they didn't have anything. They just knew that this auto trader was gold and they wanted it to be available to all of their clients. So you have to look at history, use a little intelligence, and you say, wait a minute, maybe this is different than these other bots that never existed in the stock market and all of a sudden just popped up in the crypto market.
Yes, yep. So yeah, it's a pretty and it is an unprecedented opportunity, but everybody's got to decide, what's right for you. And yeah, we're not, financial advisors and telling you, what you need to consult with your people, your professionals, and make sure that this is the decision for you. Because yeah, crypto markets are risky, they're volatile, they're up and down a lot, and it's a risky space. So, and I forgot to share my disclaimer screen at the
Who
beginning.
said, wait a minute, who said cryptos were risky?
Well, crypto, I mean,
Volatility is good.
any investing, like if
Oh,
if I'm telling somebody just go buy IBM, go buy, you have to determine, what your tolerance is for anything outside of just keeping money under your mat, right?
that's it.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause
tolerance.
there's,
Tolerance is
yeah.
what makes it risky. It's your
Yeah.
tolerance. Because when inventory goes lower, and if you're just going to panic and sell everything at a loss, then yeah,
Yeah.
then that's your tolerance is the problem.
Right.
You don't have tolerance for it for going negative a little while.
Mhm.
But if you know you're going to keep taking profits forever, then you just do the math. It's going to add up forever. They can't stop me from taking money on these coins. They just can't stop it. And there's nothing. I'm not doing anything illegal,
So
and
guys,
it's just going to keep taking money forever.
yeah. Are
Uh,
there any other questions before we wrap up? I know we've been going for a little while. We still have a few people. People's die
you
harder
want to give them
staying
a
on the
sign up
call.
link?
Thanks for sticking with us and being patient. I did post a link in the chat with a discount. GoBabyTrade is for those asking it's $34.99, $3,499 for a 3-year subscription. If you just go to the main website, you'll see it priced at $44.99. So I put a link in there. Reach out to me with any other questions. I put my WhatsApp number in there as well. I have a private GoBabyTrade group there. So you guys can learn from current users, ask your questions. We can hop on a call. I'm always happy to do that. Or put you in
What
touch
is the
with
link?
support. It's
What is the link?
impact earnings,
What?
Ed impact earnings.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
there it is.
that's the thread. So yeah, I don't see any more.
So
Don't
if
be
you put
shy.
that in
Any final
there and
questions?
you click buy now, you can see the regular price is there. And
Oh,
people, by the way, can I tell you this?
huh.
Every week, a few people always buy at the full price. I don't, they don't have a link. And
Mm,
then, but if you use that link, it'll lower it by 1,000 to this price.
yeah, cool.
So
Well,
you want to use the
yeah, for
link.
sure, for sure. Thanks for that, Ed. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us today. I don't see any last questions in the chat. So yes, reach out to me. I'd love to follow up and answer any questions. And beyond that, we have another call in a couple of weeks. And Ed, any parting thoughts besides buy it on the trader?
Yeah, I feel bad I'm not going to see you guys for another 2 weeks.
So, yeah, well, we're around, we're available, and Ed and his team are available too. You can always reach out to support at GoBabyTrade.com. Those guys are great and super responsive. So thanks again, Ed, for taking
Yep.
time
Go
out.
Navy.
Be with us. Go Navy. And thanks everybody else for your time. We went a little over, but appreciate you being here today and look forward to chatting soon. Bye, guys.
All right. Thanks. See ya. See ya,
Bye.
Cecil.
Bye.
Cecile.